Okay.
So this is the oil pan that was removed by KREMKO Automotive from my Jeep. They initially were supposed to do a dye test, which basically meant that they would take whatever bolt was put in there incorrectly by whoever else and put in the correct bolt, which I have managed to procure on my own here, standard bolt. It's $5. Put it into this pan and run the dye through it, which is what we agreed upon, for $74 or whatever they said it was, and to see if the oil would leak out of the pan. And so I ended up paying $850 to replace the pan, and I don't believe that they did the dye test. And furthermore, they also mentioned that the threads, can you get a little bit closer? They mentioned that the threads on this oil pan were completely stripped, and as you can see, these threads are perfect, as I will show you when I insert the nut. So I'm just going to put this bolt into this, and if you can maybe look a little closer here, it's going in perfectly. Okay, there's no wobble, it's perfectly tight, you know, it's there, it's very secure. And they claimed to have thread chased it, which means that they tried to re-thread it in some way, and if they would have done that, there would have been some wobble. And if a pan is completely stripped and it gets re-threaded, you have to use a thread insert or an oversized bolt. And if you look closely, there is no thread insert. These are the factory threads that came with the oil pan. And I got confirmation from two other people, Adrian at Jiffy Lube and Zach at the Ford dealership, both of whom I know personally, that confirmed that these threads have not been modified in any way. And in their professional assessment as mechanics, this bolt going into this thread will hold oil. And that's what we're going to prove here. I am going to do what they did not do. And I'm not even going to tighten this using a machine. I'm just going to tighten it with my hand and hold the pan at an incline with this paper underneath. And I'm going to pour all of this oil, the whole quart, in the pan, and we shall see if it leaks. Let the evidence speak for itself. And as you can see, there is absolutely no leakage. And I will make a time-lapse video of this and let it sit here for a few hours just to demonstrate the same. But if I would have tightened this with a wrench, there's a little rubber gasket at the end of it, which would make the seal even more secure. But in my assessment and in the assessment of the other two mechanics, that would be completely unnecessary, because this thread on this oil pan is good. But Ray at KREMKO Automotive told me that it was completely stripped and that it needed to be replaced, effectively charging me 10 times more, from a $79 or $75 job to an $844 job, because he told me that they would do a dye test, and here I am doing his job for him, and that is not a single milliliter of oil that is escaping from this oil pan. I rest my case.